In this video, we'll be analyzing a $3.14 million KDP business. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, my name is Sean and I built a multiple six-figure KDP business which I eventually sold for $820,000, and now I'm building my second KDP account. So in this channel, we try to do things a little differently than other channels out there. I openly share my own results and the strategies that I'm taking to get these kind of results. So if you want no BS publishing advice from someone who's actively publishing right now, then make sure to subscribe. So as some of you guys might know, I have sold my first KDP account for $820,000 on this website called Empire Flippers. Empire Flippers is an online brokerage where a lot of people can list their different online businesses and either sell it or even buy an online business. So once in a while, I like to go to the website and just see what kind of businesses are being sold, being listed on here. And a lot of times I filter by Amazon KDP to see how other people are building their business and what they're doing. And so the other day I was scrolling through the website and I discovered a KDP business that's literally being sold for $3.14 million. So in today's video, I just want to go and check out the listing and maybe add some commentary, see what we can learn from this listing. But before we get started, if you want a completely free training on how I built a 7-figure KDP business, the link is in the description below. All right, so let's take a look at this KDP listing. So it's absolutely crazy how much you can build your KDP business up to. A lot of people think this is just a side hustle, making a couple $100s a month or a couple $1,000s extra a month. And obviously that's not correct. You know, you can take it way further beyond that, right? So this person right here, I'll leave a link to this listing if you guys also want to check it out later. But this is a listing in the lifestyle and the culinary niche. So culinary is more so like cookbooks, diet, recipe books, those kind of things. It's super profitable. It's just also very, very competitive. So if you can break out of that, then you can make a lot of money. But it's definitely not a niche that is suited for beginners, in my opinion. But this person was able to definitely tap into that and make a ton of money. You can see that the average monthly profit is $65,000 and the average monthly revenue is $158,000. So what this shows is, he's definitely spending a ton in ads because he's making $158,000 a month, almost $159,000, but the actual profit is $65,000. So he's basically spending $90,000, a little more than that, a month in ads. So he's spending more in ads than the actual profit. And typically with Amazon KDP, I've noticed that you'll be spending maybe 30% of your overall revenue in ads, up to maybe 50% if you're in a more competitive niche. But this is way more than 50%. So that kind of shows that if you go into a competitive niche like cookbooks, recipes, those kind of things, then the ad spend will be higher, and that's exactly why I don't recommend the niche for beginners. But still, the fact that you can take home $65,000 every single month, regardless of how much you're spending in ads, you still have the profit. That's the main thing. And the fact that you can make $65K a month, that's pretty incredible. So this business started in November 4th of 2019. What's funny is November 4th is my birthday. No wonder this KDP business is doing good. Obviously, it started on my birthday, so it was blessed by the KDP gods here. So that's also incredible because just within 3 years and 1 month, he built a business from 0 to $65K a month, right? And now he's selling it for $3 million. So that is pretty crazy. The fact that you can go from 0 to potentially becoming a multi-millionaire. He's probably a millionaire from how much he's earning from this. But the fact that you can make a couple more millions from selling it, right? So the assets included in the sale is 9 Amazon KDP accounts. And this is something I definitely want to touch on. Why does he have 9 Amazon KDP accounts? Can you even have 9 Amazon KDP accounts? A lot of people think you can only have 1 account and you cannot create a second one. When I created my second KDP account, I get a lot of comments in the YouTube section too, like, hey, how did you do that? Because you're not supposed to have more than 1 account. Well, this is how it works. You cannot have more than 1 account per entity. An entity is either a person or a company. So technically, you can create 1 KDP account under your name and another KDP account under your company. And let's say you have multiple companies, then you can create 1 KDP account per company that you have because it's a separate entity, right? So you cannot create more than one KDP account under the same entity. So if you start creating two KDP accounts under the same name or two KDP accounts under the same company, then that's not okay. But in this case, this person has 9 LLCs, I assume. So that's 9 Amazon KDP accounts that you can create. Now, why would you do this? Well, it's essentially for risk management. A lot of people, personally, I never worry about this because if you don't do anything that is against Amazon guidelines, the risk of losing your account is very, very low. Like it's almost impossible. If you don't do anything wrong, then they're not going to shut your account down. A lot of people who get their accounts shut down either go into like trademarks, they publish a bunch of duplicate content. They also have, copyright issues, those kind of things. They either put their books in, irrelevant categories, so it's metadata manipulation. Whatever it is, there's always a reason why they lose their account, right? So as long as you play by the rules, it's not going to happen. But also some people are more, more cautious about that. So when they built up their KDP account to a certain point, they go and, start a new one rather than building the same one. So risk management, in case one gets shut down, the other one stays up, right? So I'm assuming that's what happened with this one too. But I think whether you want to keep building the one account or, diversify and, manage your risk, I think that's personal preference in my opinion. But the other assets included in the sale is employee contracts, which is huge. So, all the ghostwriters, contacts, virtual assistants, cover designers, you'll get that contract, right? So the buyer can just take over and, start operating normally. The email list, there's 15,000 contacts stored in GetResponse. 15,000 is quite a bit. So once you start clearing, let's say like 1,000, 2,000, that's when you start seeing the power of having your own audience in the email list. So 15,000 is pretty significant. I'm at a point where I have about 3,000 people in my email list for my new KDP account. And one email that I send to them, I can get 30 to 40 reviews, right? In my first KDP brand that I had about 7,000 people in my list, and I was getting maybe 50, 60 reviews per launch. So the ratio was a little worse in the last one, but it's still very powerful. So the fact that this person has 15,000 reviews, he can probably get 100 reviews just from sending an email to their list. So for the listing details, this listing is for an Amazon KDP business created in November 2019 in the lifestyle and culinary niches. I wonder what lifestyle means, because culinary, I know that it's like cookbooks, but I wonder what lifestyle is. This includes 9 Amazon KDP accounts feature 450 books in ebook and physical format, most of which are on self-empowerment and cooking. All right, so cooking, I was correct. Self-empowerment, I guess it's like self-help and, personal development kind of niche. So now we know that this person is in self-help and cookbooks, okay? So the fact that he has 450 books in 3 years is pretty impressive because if you think about it, that's more than 10 books a month that he is pumping out. So he definitely went all in with publishing and you can see that it worked out for him. But the top selling book has a 4.4 star average rating and over 1,100 reviews. The business revenue, which has grown 6% year over year, is spread evenly across the books, with no book generating more than 12% of total revenue, which is good. So a lot of times with these buyers on Empire Flippers, they prefer it if the income is diversified across many books rather than, few books in your account making 90% of your revenue, because that's also risk management, right? A diversification is it's better if a bunch of your books make a little bit in terms of income, because it's very steady that way. If your income is really relying on 1 or 2 books, what happens if those 1 or 2 books stop selling? Then you lose most of your income, right? So in terms of from the buyer's perspective, I think this is better. The business has a team of 5 employees consisting of a project manager who communicates with authors, designers, formatters, and other suppliers. This is super smart, by the way. So a project manager is something that I need to work on because I am still the project manager. Basically, it's a manager that oversees a project, right? So one of the things with publishing that's great is you can outsource most tasks. You can outsource the writing to ghostwriters, the cover designs to the designer, and a bunch of different tasks to different people, right? But the issue is you're the middleman. You're getting the file from the ghostwriter and then you're sending it to the cover designer and you get the file from the cover designer. And it's still work being the middleman, shuffling files around. But that's when the project manager comes in. The project manager is the one that now communicates and replaces you as the middleman. And so if you want to completely be free of your publishing business and achieve true freedom, then this is where you hire a manager like this. I still do it because it only takes me like 30 minutes a day or even less. And I actually want to be involved in the business so I can go and teach it to other people because I'm in the teaching position too, right? I don't want to completely outsource and not being in the loop of all the changes that Amazon has. But the fact that if you're just doing this, you definitely want a project manager eventually. He also has a junior advertising manager who sets up ad campaigns, a senior advertising manager who optimizes ad biz and campaigns, a bookkeeping assistant, and a part-time developer. The business uses multiple KDP accounts for risk management. Separate entities are required for each account. Interesting. So the only thing with setting up 9 LLCs and 9 different KDP accounts is if the buyer want to buy this business, they also need 9 LLCs. I don't know how many people walk around with 9 LLCs. It's fairly easy to create LLCs, but if the buyer wants to buy this, once again, they need to go and create 9 different LLCs so they can transfer all those KDP accounts into their LLCs, which might be a little bit of hassle. Wouldn't be too bad, but just slightly inconvenient. One of the KDP account was previously suspended by Amazon accidentally, but was subsequently reinstated. Further details can be provided upon request. Yeah, so this is another thing, right? A lot of people are so scared of getting their accounts terminated or suspended when you can see proof that even if it's suspended, you can often get it back. A lot of times, most of the time, your account comes back. Once again, if you're not breaking the rules, right? If you break the rules, then there is no turning back from that. And that's why you want to play within the rules, obviously. All right, so the earnings here. The all-time earning is pretty dang impressive. There's the initial investment in books. As you can see, he's spending probably $2,000 a month in producing the book, but then from the 3rd month, he started making $7,000 already. So that's pretty insane how fast he's scaled. $7,000. The next month, he went up to $14,000, $21,000, and $30,000, and then $27,000. It kind of dropped again. What's very interesting here is he basically had a gross revenue of $7,000, but the net profit was negative $1,000. So either he's spending a ton on book production or on Amazon ads because he's spending more than $8,000 in that month. But that is the cost of, I guess, starting a pretty aggressive KDP business. And from there, you can see that he did well in Q4, and then the profit went down. Once again, he's in the negative here. So I think the biggest struggle for him is getting his ads optimized, because you can see that the profit margin is a lot lower than what we typically see in Amazon KDP. Although, once again, he's still making money, still pulling in between $60,000 to even $100,000 in some months back in 2021. And coming back into 2022, once again, he has some $100,000 profit months multiple times, but the average is about $60,000, I guess. So for future opportunities, expanding into the US, Canada, and Australian markets. So are these books not US, like English books? I wonder, because it says expanding into the US. Maybe it's in a different language. But it also says here that translating books into Italian, Spanish, and French. So perhaps this book is German. Maybe it's German books, right? Maybe it's a German market. Because I don't see that in the translation here. Maybe I also don't see that in the markets here. So also reproducing books in audio formats. So that's another thing I noticed. I don't think this person is doing audio, or maybe not focused on it. So that's going to be a huge income boost if they actually do this. And partnering up with affiliate sites, yeah, I can see that adding a little more in terms of revenue. Maybe not so much, but the audio will probably do a ton more in revenue. And also translation into Spanish will be big as well. That worked really, really well for me. The risk is Amazon shutting down your Kindle account due to terms of service changes. That's probably never going to happen. Once again, you're not going to lose your account from terms of service, right? You're going to lose your account from breaking the rules. They're not going to change the terms of service and all of a sudden, close your account. So that is probably not a risk. Work and skills required: niche research, overseeing book production process, monitoring ad campaigns, bookkeeping. But it seems like they got a person, like an employee, to do all this. So I don't think that's also required as well. The seller support, reason for sale. All right, the reason for sale is the seller would like to move on to another opportunity. Pretty typical response when it comes to this listing. And that is the entire listing that we just went over. So pretty incredible stuff. You know, the fact that he got a very interesting business, a little high in terms of operational cost, I would say, but the fact that he's still profiting this much is very incredible. And also the fact that he started it just 3 years ago and built it up to this point is pretty crazy. So, you know, just shows the potential of what's possible with Amazon KDP. Once again, if you wanna just have a part-time, you know, income, then you can do that. Treat it like a part-time business, or you can build it up to a full-time thing. That's also possible as well. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned something. Hope it was entertaining. I actually like going through these listings. So I got a couple more videos of these coming up, but if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you want to check out a completely free training on how I built my own 7-figure KDP business, the link is in the description below. It's the first link, as well as all the links to the tools and resources that I recommend in your publishing business, also in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.